Hello again, folks. Welcome back, and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Now, Keir Starmer, I know I've made plenty of videos in the past saying he's gone, his time's up, it's all over for him, etc., etc. That's me hoping that he do the right thing and resign because, let's face it, if it was any other Prime Minister or politician involved in half the stuff, half the scandal he's been embroiled in, and there's been something every week, hasn't there, for the past year involving Keir Starmer, then they'd have been gone, either resigned or kicked out by their own parties. But this guy, it's like he's covered in Teflon, head to toe in Teflon, nothing sticks, nothing whatsoever. You can throw shit at him all day and he'll be clean as a button or the cleanest thing on earth still. How he does it, I don't know. It's a miracle. It's astonishing to witness, I have to say, ladies and gents. But for the first time, I hope I'm wrong here. I really do hope I am wrong. But he's going nowhere unless the party hoinks him out, and the Labour Party are just a bunch of cowards. They're cowardly. They've got this guy here who will not get them elected at the next election. They won't win. Keir Starmer can find, personally, the cure for cancer, AIDS, world hunger, space travel, all in a week, and he won't get elected. He's too toxic, too unlikable. There's just something about the fella that's almost non-human, especially with that Dalek voice of his. How else do I describe the guy? He's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. He has no honour, ladies and gents, Keir Starmer. He is your typical Marxist. It's well documented he went to a Marxist training camp in his youth in Eastern Europe. I'm not sure if it was part of the Soviet bloc back then. Don't know how old the guy is, but yeah, that ideology is in him, and that's where his loyalty lies, like the rest of them. Marxists, communists, socialists, dictators, they have to be yeeted out of power because they like the trappings of power too much. And Keir Starmer's on a good roll here with what he's doing, destroying this country. It's quite unbelievable. Again, it's astonishing. He is clinging to power like a barnacle on the Titanic, isn't he? And let me tell you, when a leader digs their heels in like that, it starts to spell less democracy and more like something you'd see in a banana republic, isn't it? You know, the kind of place where the dear leader's photo or portrait hangs on every wall and dissenters mysteriously vanish into the night. Sounds familiar? Give it a week. Now, I'm not saying a coup d'etat is coming for sure. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have a crystal ball, or at least one that works after 3 pints. But when you've got a Prime Minister who's about as popular as a tax audit, and he's refusing to budge despite the economy wheezing, the streets simmering, and half the country muttering about pitchforks, you don't need a PhD in political science to see where this is all heading, do you? It's like watching a slow motion car crash, except the driver's got his foot on the accelerator and a smug grin on his face. Have you seen Keir Starmer grinning? It's worse than Tony Blair. It's more unsettling than Tony Blair's demon-style grin. Don't you agree? Now, let me break this down for you. Starmer's been in charge for what feels like an eternity, but is actually just long enough to make everyone regret voting for him, isn't it? Ah, dear me. Inflation's through the roof. Energy bills are so high, people are burning their furniture to stay warm, and that's true. The NHS has a bigger queue than the one for the last helicopter out of Saigon. And what's our fearless leader doing? Well, he's busy lecturing us about tough choices while sipping taxpayer-funded cappuccinos and handing out peerages to his mates. Tough choices? The only tough choices he's ever had to make is whether to wear the grey suit or the slightly darker grey suit. And don't get me started on the free speech debacle. This is a man, and I use the term man loosely, by the way, who thinks misinformation is anything that disagrees with his morning briefing. He's got more in common with a Soviet censor than a British Prime Minister, hasn't he? You can't even tweet Starmer's rubbish without some algorithm flagging you as a threat to national security. And I'm surprised I'm still here, to be honest, and other creators. And that's probably because they haven't got round to unplugging my Wi-Fi yet. Now here's the thing, when a leader's this out of touch, this stubborn and this convinced he's the second coming of Tony Blair minus the charisma, obviously, people start to get restless, don't they? You can feel it in the air, the pub chatter's getting louder, the protests are getting bigger, and even the BBC starting to ask questions, which is a miracle in itself. When the BBC turns on you, mate, you know you're in trouble. It's like your mum saying, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. It's the kiss of death. So what happens next? Well, history's got a few suggestions, doesn't it? And none of them are pretty. You've got your angry mobs, your backroom deals, your shadowy figures in Westminster plotting over whiskey and cigars. I'm not saying tanks are going to roll down Whitehall tomorrow, but when the public's this fed up and the leader's this deaf, something's got to give, hasn't it? And it won't be the British sense of humour, I can tell you, because we're going to need that to get through this mess. Look, I don't want a coup. Nobody does. Well, maybe a few nutters on the internet, but they're too busy arguing about who'd win in a fight between a badger and a fox. The point is, democracy is supposed to work without anyone needing to storm the barricades, but when you've got a Prime Minister who's acting like he's glued to the chair, ignoring the will of the people and treating the country like his personal fiefdom, you're asking for trouble, big trouble, the kind that comes with capital letters and a history book entry. So, okay, if you're watching, and I know you're not because you don't listen to anyone who isn't a donor or a diversity consultant, here's a tip: resign, pack your bags, take your grey suits and go write your memoirs in a nice cottage somewhere. Call it, I don't know, How to Lose Friends and Alienate a Nation. It'll be a bestseller, I promise, because if you don't, the people might just decide to write the next chapter for you, and trust me, it won't be a happy ending. So there we go, that's all for now, folks. Until the next time, stay free, stay sane, and I'll see you at the next video. Roger Trout.